about as much as we're gonna take it right now. You only can back up as much as your mechanism can give you. So whatever your mechanism can turn is, that'll determine how fast you can back up. So I can grind that thing all the way flat. I can grind it, and I don't know if that can go further too. I really don't know how to look at that. All right. Say for instance you want to put this back in, and you didn't want to grind it. You were just tearing it apart, rebuilding it. How would you know which way would it go in here? How would you know? Well, this way, when you push the lever that way, that goes forward. When you push the lever, it goes backwards. So, the short one goes to the top, but that goes forward. So that's where the short little lobe at, right here. That'd be on the very top. So that's how you know to put that back there. I probably got probably 6 years of hydraulic work in each pump. So I used to work at a place in Brunswick, Georgia, and in that time they used to do quite a bit of these. And I used to tear these things apart and fix and rebuild them all the time. But now, it's been many years later that I've been working on them. But it comes back to you like riding a bicycle. Just there ain't too many things you got to know. It's fairly simple. But I discovered this backing up forward on my about three tear downs I done ago on these hydrostats. Alrighty. Here's my squash plate. If you notice, there's a thrust bearing going there, just a thrust washer. It goes in there. It don't matter which way it goes. It's just as hard either way as the other way. So don't get conflicted. How does that go? Just stick it. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. So don't worry about it. So we need to stick our shaft back in here. This shaft here. This got to go back in here. I gotta go clean it off. Let me go clean it off. Now you ain't got to take this bearing off of this shaft unless you want to. There's no need to take it off. That's a non-sealed bearing because it's submerged in oil all the time. Well, it ain't submerged. It gets oil slung up to it to the top, so it gets greased all the time. It's not greased when it's sitting there. But anyway, just got to set it back in there. You put a little grease on your shaft here, and I got to do that. Set it back in there. Then put a piece of wood on this and drive it back in. Drive this bearing back in that housing. I gotta get some oil. You can't put this down in oil. I use 90 weight oil. Put it back together with. That's what I use. All right, we got the oil here. Got me a little acid brush. We call them here. But just want to grease up that shaft on in there where the seal go there, and grease the seal up. I like to put a little grease on my bearing and put a little grease down inside my bearing just to get it so it won't crank up. It won't start spinning dry. Anyway, you've got to put that in there and knock it back in there. Get a piece of wood. Either get a piece of wood or get a piece of brass to hit on. You don't want to hit on that shaft on the end. That's not very good. I'll leave me a rag on, keep beating up my paint, but I got a piece of brass here. Hit on top. Let me look at the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, you can barely see it. That's all right. That's good enough. Let's try to beat that bearing back in there. Walking sideways. I'm beating on the bearing now with the brass. I got another brass too, a little longer. Probably can use that in there. The one I hit my finger today wouldn't hurt. There she went. She went there then. Alright. Bearing went in there flash. Oh. Went in there flat. I usually don't catch myself when I say the wrong words. You look at my video and you see a lot of my videos where I said the wrong thing. I might title over it. But I caught myself then. Usually I don't catch myself. But get this thing where to stay. We're going to grease up inside this other squash plate. We're going to grease up this shaft here. This shaft, if you're sitting on the tractor, the shaft be on your left hand side to make you go back and forward. The other shaft goes on the other side. Where's it at? We don't need it. I ain't worried about it. But anyway, we're going to grease up this joker. Make sure you grease up behind there. You don't want, like I say, you don't want it to be running half dry. Start running. Oil will start pumping through it, but it won't run all the way through it until it gets to moving good. Drop it in there. Remember, like I say, if you hadn't ground it, you want to put it back together like it was. This is one I ground, so I'm gonna turn it around. This was the reverse, was on the bottom, and this one's on the top. One I didn't ground, so this is the way it goes. The tall one goes on the bottom, the short one goes on top. Just drop it in there. Let me get it where you can see what the hell I'm doing. All right, I got you a little closer, so you just want to. When I set it down there, you just want to stick that back in there, drive that pin to it. So when you drive that pin in, you're only going to do one. You drive that pin in until the pin is flush with this. When it's flush with this, it'll be partially stuck in the other one. You see it? That's all that's in there. That's the reason why I don't like it. I like two of them, because I got that pedal. I can stomp mine forward or go backwards, stomp it real hard forward, and make it rear up. So I'm jerking this thing real quick. So I put one, I drive one all the way through it, and see it'll stop. Well, if you see it, you drive one all the way through it. If you drive it down to there, you can see it'd be halfway in there. But you don't want to. I guess you do want to drive that further than that. Just drive it down about halfway inside that hole in there. Get that pin about halfway. But all you need to do is about half. Alright, we're going to put the tall side back on the top where it was. Just to make things simpler for my viewers. Just line that joker up. Probably best to get you something to line that hole up. Something like this. See, that's lined up. We're going to drive that pin in there. Well, I should have. Let me do something to make it simpler. I know better than that, but I'll forget. I'm getting old. I forget, so. Go ahead and partially drive these pins in there before you stick it in there. It'll make life more simple. If I could find the hole. Just drive it in there somewhat. Just don't drive it. Don't drive it in. You can't get your shaft in there. Look at it again. That's my reverse side. This is my forward side. Forward goes up top. Drop it in there. This goes to the very top of the transmission, because it ain't going to work on the bottom. You'd be all screwed up if you did that. Wait, let me see something. Yeah, we're right. Just knock it in there. I lined that pin up pretty good, accidentally. I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 in mine. No, I didn't line it up. I got to find it. Dadgum hole. Fortunately, I'm going to back line mine up. You won't be able to do that. Let me find that hole. Now let's see if we can drive it in there. That's the only bad thing about this. It's in there because I felt my punch start coming out. Like I say, I'm gonna drive another on top of it if I can find it.